GeronimoJak is back, finally with another Paragon for Dummies video. Of course, class will begin shortly, but first I wanted to quickly talk about how we're going to cover the next session. Okay, so today we're going to look at the first half of deck building, more specifically what cards are and what the card system is. Because it would make sense that in order to play the game, you should know how to use literally a third of the game's internal mechanics. You must be thinking, wow, that's a lot to digest, right?
Funny enough, that's the same thing my therapist said when I finally opened up to her about the voices.
Well, now that we got introductions out of the way,
it's time to
are cards. One of the things unique to MOBAs from other game genres is that they have an item shop similar to an RPG or an MMO. Just like an RPG, as the game progresses, you earn money which lets you buy funny looking items with incredibly ridiculous names that make your character stronger. That way, when you talk to your friends about the game around literally anybody else, you look like a fucking loser. Now, Paragon flips the idea of the item shop on its head by turning it into a deck building game. It's a game inside of a game!
It's time to It's time to
Honestly, when I realized this, I got super duper moist. If you've ever played Magic the Gathering, you'll start seeing some similarities here. All the game's items are color-coded into 6 categories called Affinities. This changes the game up quite a lot actually, because heroes are tied to certain affinities, which means they don't get access to all the cards. This creates a bit of strategic diversity and is a way to power limit some of the characters from getting way too strong. The affinities in Paragon are Fury, Growth, Intellect, Order, Corruption, and Universal. Much like Magic the Gathering, each color does have a theme, and you'll typically find more of certain card types in different colors. For example, Fury is very damage heavy and aggressive. It favors cooldown reduction, attack speed, and damage cards. Growth is a great affinity for tanks. It offers a lot of defense, a lot of health, and a little bit of damage. Intellect is where you see a lot of the mana regen, some cooldown, and utility cards. Order offers the most utility in the game with cards that have a lot of unique abilities to help out your team. Corruption is what Western society is full of and has lots of Pierce cards and status effect cards, like ones that will poison and bleed you out slowly. Kind of like the government.
Got him!
Finally, universal cards are cards that every hero can use and don't have any particular stats. So how is the card system different from an item shop? Well, in Paragon, instead of earning flat gold which you buy items directly with, you have what is essentially a second experience bar. When you take objective like towers, kill minions, or help kill other players, you will collect flaming hot Cheetos that fill up your PepsiCo bar. Once you have eaten enough Cheetos for your family doctor to show a serious concern for your general health, and by the way, we're not talking on a professional level, we're talking like they put their hand on your shoulder, they have a furrowed brow, there's a twinkle of hope in their eye that maybe one day you will get over this and get better. They lean in closely and softly say, "What the fuck is your problem, man?" As they slap you across the face for your obsession for cheese-flavored corn snacks, you'll be awarded with 3 card points. You'll then use those card points to buy those items with the funny-looking names to make your character stronger. So the TLDR, eat Cheetos, get money. Another way Paragon makes you think about how you play the game with the deck builder is by making you pick what items you get to use before you even get into the game. So for every hero, you have the ability to build a deck of cards, and that determines what items you get to build onto your hero and what stats they will have as the game progresses. When you unlock deck building around level 5 and jump into the deck builder mode, you'll probably stare at the screen the same way I stare at 3rd grade math. So let's break that down. Now that we've talked about the card system, what exactly are cards? Well, there's 2 types of cards in the game, kind of more like 4.5, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let's look at a typical card and break down what exactly is going on in here. So to start off, there's equipment cards and upgrades. Equipment cards are the items themselves, and you'll notice they have 3 rings at the bottom. Those are where you fit the upgrades. Upgrade cards are the stats themselves that you put into equipment cards. So for an equipment card, the card will show what stats the card has. In this case, it's attack speed and attack damage on this Windcarver blade, which means the upgrade cards you're allowed to use on this card are only the attack damage and attack speed stats. If the card has any extra effects, they will be labeled here. Anything that has the tag unique means that the effect will only work once. If the item has a passive, that means the card has an effect that will work on its own in the background and you don't have to do anything to make it work. A card with a unique active such as potions is a card that has an effect where you need to press the button in order to use the effect itself. You can only place a card with an active ability in the first 4 slots of your item slots in the game. You can put passive cards in any of the 6 slots, but try to avoid doing so when you can, as it might affect your build. So, when you put all of the upgrades into the equipment card, you'll get bonus stats for finishing the item off. This is actually extremely important to remember, because if you just keep buying equipment cards and don't upgrade them before buying new ones, you're literally losing out on free stats. So make sure you finish those cards before you get your next one.
It's time to do. It's time to do. Time to do it.
Unless you absolutely have to change your build up depending how the game's going.
Do it.
If you're wondering on how to unlock cards in the first place, in order to unlock cards, you have to play the game to earn reputation points, which you can then use to buy card packs, very similar to most other trading card games. So get ready to brush your teeth a whole lot and kiss RNGesus right in his sweet brown holy cornhole, because you're rarely going to see whatever cards you need, and a lot of the same ones you don't, as you try and get the items your hero needs to actually play the game, kind of like how Iggy and Scorch needs Tainted Magic to do anything relevant. And I'm not even kidding. After 18 days of game time of playing this game, I can't even get a second mana potion, but I have enough vicious kinetics and raging chronos to go back in time and slap the developers who created them across the face for having the audacity to make these cards. Now, eventually there will be a card crafting system, so it will be easier to get the cards that you're actually looking for, but until then, you're going to be Colgate's new best friend. And that's going to be it for today's class. Hopefully with all this information, you'll be able to get the basics on how the card system works, and build on it to grab that win you're looking for. I'm hilarious, aren't I? Like I've said before, MOBAs are extremely organic games. MOBAs are extremely organic games, which means that everything we talk about is more or less a guideline of how to play. I'm really just trying to provide the tools so that when you jump into the game, you have an idea of what to do, and if all else fails, you'll have a way on how to apply your tool effectively enough to contribute to your team without having performance anxiety. If you have any suggestions, questions, or want to let me know what video you would like to see, leave a comment below. I've left timestamps in the description, so if you need a reference point of anything in the video, you have easy access to it. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you haven't checked out the Twitch stream yet, pop in and say hi. The schedule for it is in the description. Until next time, this is GeronimoJak, and I'll see you in Agora.
Gotta get up, I gotta get up, move. Gotta get up, I gotta get up, move.